Hello, today is June 2nd, whatever, y'all know what I was talking about, the second day in June. So my Edges journey is, let me put my seatbelt on because I know that's going to irritate y'all. I usually have it behind my back because usually, anyway, this part right here aggravates me, so I usually have it behind my back. But yeah, my lot journey is going great so far. In 16 days, this will be month 2, and I think I'm gonna go like 6 weeks between retwists as of right now, because I don't know, like I have soft hair, and this is not my first rodeo when it comes to locks, and I know it's gonna take longer for my hair to lock because it's soft, and I'm not really using a lot of products. Like so far I've only been using what I would consider natural products. Like even when I got my retwist done, we use aloe vera for my retwist, and like she sprayed like oil sheen on it, like after I got from under the dryer, I guess to give it that shine look. But we're really not using a lot of products. Like I remember the third time or the second, because they go together, so I just say the second time I locked, we used like a lock-in concoction that was already like in the beauty supply store. We used that, we mixed in aloe vera and lemon with it, so it was just a thicker concoction kind of, and it was okay, but I noticed that I had buildup. And I was talking to the lady that's actually doing my hair now, and she was like, no matter what you do and how you do them, you're gonna have buildup, because buildup is actually what helps your lock. The only difference between buildup is it can be inside the lock or it's gonna be on the outside of it. And when it's on the outside, it's usually when you see people locks and they have like patches of white or gray, or it just looks like something else is inside their hair or outside their hair. That's their buildup. And the buildup can be on the inside so that your locks look cleaner and they look pretty and they have that look to them. So you're gonna have buildup regardless. Like you can't get over that, because you're putting products in your hair and you can't comb through it. Like whether you're greasing your scalp, oiling your scalp, sweat, natural dirt. I know a lot of people who have locks, they do construction, they work outside, they work out. So it's stuff in our hair that's not gonna come out. Like, yeah, we're gonna wash it, but even when you wash it, you're still not getting everything out. That's why I know some people do the ACV, which is the apple cider vinegar detoxes, but that's really not good for your hair. But too much of anything is not good. So long as you do things in moderation, I guess it's okay. But I know for a fact that it's a man that I follow on Instagram, and I hope I'm not saying this man's name wrong. I know it's Damien. I don't remember what his last name is, but he's from Houston, and he has his own brand, and he's, my opinion, he's the lock king. Like the finest of it. Like he been talking about locks for 10, 15, 20 years. I mean, I'm not saying like locks just came out or this is something new. Like I know people who done had locks 30, 40, 50 years. I done seen some Rasta men that, you know, they just got it in the crown, but they let it down and go to their feet. So locks aren't anything new. People, we're gonna get technical and talk about people in the Bible had locks, but nothing about them is new. But he been on this product stuff. He been doing it. But if you actually talk to real Rasta, like you talk to some real Rastas, they'll tell you, like, when you lock in your hair, go to the beach, get you some ocean water, that salt water. Like that will help your hair lock faster than anything. And a lot of people try to avoid getting their hair wet. And don't get me wrong, I was one of them. Especially when you're starting out with like the comb coils or the palm rolls or the finger coils. Just because your lock isn't 100% secure. Especially that first month. Like, one wrong move and you got a patch of an afro. Like, you got a separated afro little bit. Because your twist gonna come loose. That's why, if anybody asks me how should they start, I was just, my opinion, because I've started each way. Like, I've done the lock extension method. I've done the regular method, or the finger combs, or the finger coils, or the comb coils. I've done that method also. And this time I started with the twist, because it's 5 methods. Freeform, and if you don't know what freeforming is basically you letting your hair do what it do. And people may not realize this or they don't think about it, but if you do not comb your hair, you're gonna have one big lock, one big dread, because that's all locks are. They're matted hair. We change it when we separate it, or we do diamond parts, oval parts, half moons, like however we part our hair, we change it when we actually separate it. But freeforming is just you letting your hair do what it do naturally, and you may separate it here and there, but it's not like you're taking a comb to your hair. Like, they don't comb their hair, period. They don't brush their hair, period. It's just there. That's freeforming. The next one I'm gonna say is finger combing and finger coiling and comb coils. They're gonna go together, and that's basically when you twirl them and they kind of, you know, they look like little beads a little bit. If you get what I'm saying, those. You can start with twist, 2-strand twist, which is what I started with this time. You can start with braids, or you can get lock extensions. I love the way freeforms look, because those are the people who are really like free, like hence the name. But those are the ones who just, you know, let things be. They're not rushing anything. They're really patient. Like, it is what it is. They're gonna let it do what it do. It's gonna be what it's gonna be. Extensions, they're for people who don't want to go through the stages. They just want to skip to the end result. And first time I did them, I skipped to the end result, and I still ain't keep them in. So those two, like I said, the finger coil and the comb coil, I feel like that's the one that's gonna have a consistent lock if it's done properly, with the part to lot ratio, if it's done properly. But I feel like it'll take longer, especially if you don't tie your hair up, if you're not doing things you should be doing. That takes longer, because really the back of your head gonna keep coming loose, especially if you don't tie your hair up. Twisting is what I'm doing now, and I really enjoyed the twist, because when I did the coils, I couldn't wash my hair at all. Like, that first month and a half, which was what, 6 weeks, I didn't wash my hair at all, because I was really scared it won't come loose. And after you wash your hair, it poofs up a whole lot more, so you're gonna look like Sid the Science Kid. So that's my con on that. With my twist, I was able to wash my hair whenever I wanted to wash it, like, or even put water on it when I wanted to put water on it. Like, I put water on my hair every day. Like, if it was cold, I wouldn't, just because wet hair, cold weather don't mix. But it's hot now, so I'll put water on my hair and I just, you know, shake and go. So twist or braids, I would say probably would be the best method. But if you get aggravated with seeing the twist, I wouldn't say go with that method, because the twist isn't gonna blend in probably into a year and a half of your locks. Meaning, like, where I started my twist at, which is, it's probably most of this. Like, I think this right here is my 2-strand twist. And I'm going to be able to see that. No matter how many times I get my hair retwisted, no matter how many times we palm roll it, no matter how many, no product is going to change that, because that's the way I decided to start my locks. So I'm going to see that within my locks. But that doesn't bother me, because I'm to this point where it's hair. Like, not saying I don't care, but I knew that was going to be there. Like, long term, eventually I'm going to comb that part out and have like goddess locks. So I'm going to have locks, but it's going to have like little curls at the end. It's going to be my hair. I think I'm going to do that. I don't know yet, depending on how my hair looks. But, or I might just do some of them, like have a little curl here and there. I don't know. But the twists don't bother me. I've even been on YouTube and I watched some other people's journeys, and like 9-10 months down the line, you still can see their twist. Like, you still can see how they started, but you can tell that it's going to eventually blend in. Like, eventually the hair is going to come out the twist, it's going to go around, it's going to do this, it's going to do that, it's going to do this, it's going to do that. So you're not going to be able to see the twist anymore. It's going to look like a lock. But that's the only con I would say when it comes to starting out with a plait or a twist, because you're still going to be able to see it at the beginner stages of your journey. But if that doesn't bother you and you still want to be able to wash your hair, you still want to be able to style it, because if you get finger coils or comb coils and your hair is extremely short, you're kind of stuck with that one style. Like, they're laid down or they're to the back, or you got a part. You're really stuck with that one style because your hair is short. You can't really move it. But if you get twist and your hair is kind of short, you can still, you know, pin your twist up. You can move them because they're free. Like, once you move that coil and you move it away that it wasn't twisted or curled or put, then you kind of undoing that, and you may have to start over again, or it may be messing up that. So how many ever ones you messed up, that's longer in the journey you gotta go. My opinion, I would just say start with twist. But if seeing the twist itself in your lock is going to aggravate you, don't start with twist, just start with coils. But you got to have a lot of patience with the coils. You can't wash your hair as much, really can't wet your hair as much, because when hair is wet, it swells, it gets bigger, it gets poofy. So if you haven't washed your hair in 6 weeks and you wash your hair and you're not finna retwist it or anything, and you wash your hair, you're going to have a fro, and the ends of it going to look like you went through a little sponge. That's really what it's gonna look like. That's it. But I would recommend twist. I've said that several times in the video. I'm a fan of the twist, and I've done 3 out of 5 methods. I've done the lock extensions. I've done the comb coils. I've done the twist. So 3 out of the 5 I've done. I didn't do the freeform, and I didn't do the braids or the plaits. Some people start different ways anyway. Like, I guess I can add a 6th method. They would start with a protective style. Like, I know some people who would get kinky twists or box braids or any kind of braid or twist that will actually have their hair separated evenly, and they'll get them just because that has the hair already separated, and they'll just let them get old. Because when you get braids, you're not supposed to really keep them in more than 2 months. Some people let it ride. You let them ride, your roots gonna lock up, because you have that oil sitting there. You have whatever they used on your hair, whether it was jam, gel, whatever they used to separate your hair when they used it, or whatever concoction they put on your hair to moisturize it, that's still stuck there, and that braid held it there. So the more new growth you get, the more it separates from the scalp, but it's still holding that original area. So you have a little lock forming, and if you go to 4 or 5 months with them box braids, twists, protective style, whatever you got in your hair, you got that on with that style in your hair, your hair is gonna be locked up, and it's gonna hurt if you try to comb it out, or when you try to comb it out. And if you take the braids out and don't comb your hair before you wash it, you're really gonna be in a mess. Now, why am I saying comb, detangle, same thing? You know what I mean by that. But if you take that out before when you take it out, you know the way it looks. But if you don't wash, if you don't detangle your hair and you just go straight to the water, you're gonna be in a mess. You're gonna comb a lot more of your hair out than what you would have combed out if you would have just combed when it was dry, because and it got wet now. It just set in. All your shedded hair, your felling hair is stuck in that glob or the concoction that they used when they did your hair, because your hair still shedded like it was supposed to, even though your hair was braided. That's what really helps your hair lock, is the part that is the fact that you're not combing it. That's what really helps it lock, because when you comb your hair, you're taking the dead hair out, you're taking the felling hair out. But because you're locking it, your felling hair is, I hate when big trucks do that, but because you're locking, that's what's going to help it bud more, because you're not combing your hair, because the hair is stuck there, and more hair is still shedding, more hair is still coming, and eventually it's going to be like a knot in a sense, or a big old ball just stuck in your hair. But if you would have combed it when it first started to form, you would have never got locks, because locks is basically your felling hair trapped in the living hair, or the growing hair.